them outside the chamber. Deputy Tony McLoughlin has just started, and I ask Deputy McLoughlin to continue.
Thank you very much, Laz-Cahir. However, Laz-Cahir, I believe that the main benefits of this new customs bill will be that, in theory at least, it will strengthen the overall role of the Irish Customs Service, as it will give its officers more power to stop, seize and prosecute criminals who choose to openly break our laws for their own personal gain. For example, Section 6 of the bill will be a much welcome tool in the arsenal of the customs officials, as it will provide for the appointment of any place in the state as a customs port or airport for the arrival and departure of vessels into and out of the state. This will ultimately mean greater scrutiny of cargo and personal belongings in areas other than the main airports and shipping ports in this country. As this House is aware, in recent times it has been reported that obscure beaches and small airfields are open to serious abuse by drugs and criminal gangs. And for example, along the large coastline in County Sligo, there have been numerous reports of speedboat activity occurring in the middle of the night along some of the most obscure beaches in the county. And I can only fear what may be occurring on these instances. As I have discussed before in this House, the effects of the smuggling of goods and its related activities are rampant in my own constituency of Sligo-Leitrim. It is hoped then that this new customs bill will lead to an increase in efforts by Customs Revenue and Garda Síochána in combating the offences, which may ultimately result in more criminal convictions, fines being issued and illegal and unsafe products being removed from our streets. I would also like to mention briefly the effects which the smuggling of tobacco is having on retailers who I have met recently from Sligo, who are, as legitimate, ask to control the sale of tobacco in this country. They are governed by our laws of the conditions on the sale of tobacco, and therefore must charge €10 per packet for 20 cigarettes. This is in stark comparison to the reality that today the same quantity of cigarettes can be bought on the streets of Sligo, like many other towns, I am sure, for just €3 per packet. I do not need to elaborate here how this instance is affecting their business trade. In a time where revenue are already dwindling, this is in contrast to the fact that 3 small retailers closed in Sligo town just last week. Not 1 red cent of this 3 million will make its way back to the Exchequer, and in fact it will more than likely be used by criminal organisations to further their criminality and increase their profits in this country and beyond. Just this week we have seen the extent to which these criminal gangs will go to, in order to evade both the Irish customs officials and their counterparts in the United Kingdom. The massive seizures of over 2 million worth of raw tobacco in a joint raid by Customs and PSNI and Garda Síochána showed the smugglers' intent and capabilities. Another area where this proposed new customs bill will be beneficial is in the state's attempt to tackle the current rise in the online purchasing of counterfeit goods, which the state receives no VAT from. This practice is on the rise internationally, and greater cooperation between Irish customs and our international partners is needed to combat this trend. I have been made aware by a number of retailers that this practice is having a damaging effect on local retailers in my constituency. While I strongly support the contents of this new customs bill, I do believe the fine of just €5,000 listed in a number of sections of this bill for a person convicted of an offence under the customs law is too lenient in my opinion, and that it should be examined again. And I believe that this fine needs to be higher, as it will not deter people from taking the chance of smuggling illegal or prohibitive goods both into and out of our state at its current level. Along with this welcomed modernised customs legislation, I also strongly believe that the state needs to invest more funding in the resource available to customs in order to help further combat the threat our country faces from the smugglers and criminal gangs. I have stated before that I believe that an agency similar to the Criminal Assets Bureau should be established within Customs and Excise, and that the Garda to solely tackle the importation and distribution of illegal tobacco products. There needs to be an intelligence-led strategy with officers seconded to this unit from Garda and the Customs and Excise. which will target the importers and distributors throughout the country. It will cost money, but this funding can be obtained through a levy or tax on cigarettes rather than directly from the Exchequer. However, it would need a proper budget and mandate to tackle the crime of tobacco smuggling, which is estimated to cost the taxpayer £450 million per year. It is clear from the facts that we are not winning the battle with these criminal gangs and smugglers at present, and more financial resources for customs and An Garda are needed along with this new legislation. However, I do welcome this new legislation, and I hope that this will be beneficial to their efforts. Finally, I wish to pay tribute to and commend the work which the Irish Customs Service does in protecting our state. It is often a thankless job, and it is important that this hard work and effort is recognised and commended while discussions these new welcome customs regulations.
Now I call on